Hi, and welcome to The Eagle's Eye. I'm your host, Ingrid Schmidt, here today with the director of the AU Theater production, Three Sisters, Teresa Durbin-Ames. Teresa, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thanks, Ingrid.
So can you tell me about the story of Three Sisters?
Three Sisters is about three sisters. It takes place in Russia in the early 1900s, and these sisters are young women, kind of around a college student's age, and they're trying to figure out what is going to happen with their lives. Their father was in the military, and so he has passed away, and all these kind of military folks are around. I mean, there are about 15 people in the cast, so there are love interests for the sisters. One sister is married and finds a new love interest, and so it's kind of the complexity of these people's lives and what they're going to do next.
Yeah. So what does this play contribute to the Treasured Classics Renewed season here at AU?
For our season of Treasured Classics, the play was written by Anton Chekhov, and he is kind of considered a classic playwright for theater. The plays he was writing in Russia at this point in time were performed by the Moscow Art Theater. And that theater, the man who ran it was Konstantin Stanislavski. And Stanislavski is the person who established the Western acting method or technique. So all of our students in all of their acting classes, or any acting class, they're going to know who this person is. And the idea that a playwright wrote plays for this acting company really kind of makes this a classic piece, and the students can practice what they're learning in class to a play that was written kind of because there was this new way of writing plays, and we needed a new method of acting. So it's a classic because it's just by Chekhov. He's kind of the Russian Shakespeare, if you will.
Okay. And how does the play challenge the student actors?
It challenges them because these characters are complex. There are 4 acts to the play, and time passes. So about 4 years will pass through the course of the evening. And people change during that time. If we all think about our own lives and where we were 4 years ago and what we're doing now. And I think that's a great challenge for our actors, is to see how they create a character in Act 1, and then that character has to grow and develop and face challenges and obstacles and figure out how to get around them. So that's a challenge, I think, for our actors, and that's one of the reasons to do a piece like this is to have an experience doing a Chekhov play, and the language as well. Originally written in Russian, we have a translation by Sarah Rule, and that is different as well. So again, the language should be a little more accessible, because there are dozens of translations to choose from. But this one, has some more things that I found it would hopefully be a little more accessible. But the language is definitely, it's not every day. It's not how we talk every day, but it is still pretty straightforward.
Okay. And what makes your production of Three Sisters special?
I think our production of Three Sisters is special. The cast that we have, again, a college-age cast of trying to tackle a really tough show. The set is designed by a student. So Maya Rickard designed the set for the show for her senior project. So I think that is a special and unique thing about this. We chose to do it, or I chose to do it, in Hugo Young, in our big theater, because I think there's a landscape, and because of the 4 years that pass, and there's an expanse that I kind of wanted to suggest in that. So we've got 4 acts. We have 3 locations for the action of the play. So how do we convey that? And I just thought the bigger stage might give us some opportunities. It becomes a challenge, though, for the actors as well to fill the space vocally, and just kind of, but I think it's all part of the experience for our students.
Okay, and how large is the cast?
The cast is 15, so there are 9 men, 6 women, so we've got the 3 sisters, we've got a range of kind of years at AU and kind of majors, so there's all kinds of folks involved in that way.
Okay, and you said that Maya Rickard is a student and she designed it. Do you have any other student designers on your production?
No, our other designers are guests. So again, we have a guest lighting designer, Daniel Houston from New York. Daniel Hobbs is our guest costume designer from the New York area. And Richard Ingraham is our sound designer, and so he's from the Cleveland area. So again, I think there's great opportunities for our students to work with and collaborate with the professionals in the field.
Okay. And what has been your favorite part about directing the show?
My favorite part about directing this show has been, I think, watching the students embrace the challenge and meet the challenge. So repetition and rehearsal. So we've been working on this. We read the script together for the first time back in November and just did table work to figure out names, Russian names and how you pronounce them has been challenging, and just kind of beginning to wrap our minds about this world in which these people live. And then we've been rehearsing since January, since classes started, so about 5 or 6 weeks. And just, you know, it's a lot of repetition, but when you kind of find, this is what this line means, or this is what this character wants, those are the best moments, is when you're just working a scene for 30 minutes and we're going to do these same 2 pages over and over and over again, and explore it and go, try it this way, try it that way, does that work? And watching them come to that realization of, this is the gesture, or this is the move, or this is how I'm looking at you. That's the best part of any of our directing.
Well, thank you so much for joining me.
Sure, it's been great.
You can see Three Sisters in the Hugo Young Theater on February 15th, 16th, 22nd, and 23rd at 7:30 p.m., as well as February 17th at 2 p.m. That's it for this episode of The Eagle's Eye. I'm Ingrid Schmidt. Thanks for joining us.